So I'm using a boning knife for this. It'll get nice long distance with a good flexibility so you can get around on cuts where you have bones and into hard to reach spots. Like this big chunk of fat here takes a nice V notch right into here.
Oh, yeah.
So you're gonna wanna get in between some of the meat there. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna start there. It is beautiful. So you can take it off in smaller portions so you're minimizing your meat waste.
Nobody wants to waste meat, it's too expensive.
That it is. Especially once brisket got popular. It used to be very cheap because it used to just get ground up for hamburger meat.
Yeah. Then you find out how delicious it is once you smoke it, throw it all out.
Yep. And that's why you smoke brisket, is because it needs a lot of time to start breaking down the fibers. Because as much fat as is in the outside of the brisket, there's not much in the grain of the meat itself.
Very true. Yeah, you really start seeing brisket take off once the smokers started getting popular and
more
social
affordable.
media, the trending, like really took off big. So I think people that really appreciate this video.
Yeah.
Steps here.
So how much fat do you cut off?
There is, on the base level, you want to take off most everything on the back side. Now on the top side, we do leave a little bit because you want that to melt off and kind of add some more flavor to the brisket as the seasoning sets in during that smoke process. And I'll show you how much we take off on the top here in a moment, because that's the biggest chunk out the bottom.
And a lot of people aren't familiar with removing that extra chunk of meat out there.
Yeah, so the brisket is actually in two pieces. You have your decal point, and then you got your flat. And actually the flat runs underneath the point here. And they actually, later in the process, when you're done smoking it, you do remove the two so that you can cut it properly. So there's this flap here. We usually remove that just to kind of square up the brisket. Helps cook evenly. Now I like to keep all my fat personally, because then I like to have it melted down and into beef tallow.
Oh yeah.
And then you can use it for frying fries in beef tallow, which used to be,
It's the original, right?
Yeah. So then on this, you're gonna want to take off a good majority of this fat. You're gonna leave it to where you just start seeing the skin through right here. So you're kind of keeping it within about 1/8 of an inch over the meat. And the reason you don't want all of this fat, you could smoke it that way, and some people do, but you're not gonna get the seasoning penetration into the meat. It'll just be sitting up there on the top.
Good point, sir. Good point.
And so
I'm guessing you're gonna have some sharp knives, though.
you need a very sharp knife to do this easily, at least.
Yeah.
And as you can see, I mean, you're losing 3 to 4 pounds of weight off the total weight of a brisket when you trim it down. Which seems like a waste, but you want to get that good penetration on that seasoning and the flavor. Yeah, brisket, it's a long process, but it is worth it in the end. So you can see right there, it looks like it's a little deeper, but it's actually right where you need it to be, so you can stop that point. And then one thing that a lot of people also dislike doing is because this is so thin that it'll get burnt in the process. So you actually want to, unfortunately, cut this product off. So you square up your brisket, and that's what that's called, is squaring it up. You're gonna line up and make it kind of square so that it cuts a lot, or cooks a lot more evenly, which you can see on this side how thin that is now compared to how thin that is, and they're pretty equal. And that's what we want. So this seems like a lot of waste, but if you do like I do at home, you grind it up and turn it into burger meat.
Hey, burgers are always good. Let's do this.
Now we're gonna flip that. Get this big chunk on the side here.
Oh, we're good. Looks like you trimmed a few of these in your life.
I enjoy cooking brisket, I can say that much.
And if you're looking for the whole brisket loins, you can usually find them at your local butcher shops. Sometimes you can order from your grocery stores too if you're out there looking for those. You can even pop by some of the large retail stores like your Gordon's.
I buy mine at Costco all the time.
Costco's, yeah, you can be able to find these big cuts of meat.
Yep. And if you're lucky, you get a good sale every now and again. All right. And that is the basis for trim. You got it nice and squared on both sides. On the front, everything's kind of cooking at an even kind of keel there. And this is where you can actually tell more of that difference between your flat and your point or your decal up top. So this line of fat is in the middle and it'll run and separate the two. And you can see the graining of the beef,
oh yeah,
how it's different. And that's why you never want to cook them, or well, you cook them together, but you never want to cut the whole thing together because this will be tough then, well, this will be nice and tender.
Always cut against
the grain.
Yep.